Did you get to watch any of Bloodsport 2? I had a ticket and I went. I was like, kicking myself because I bought it because of you, but it was a great show.
I did. I pretty much watched the whole thing. I really enjoyed it, man. It moves along really quickly. It's easy to watch. Maybe not for everybody. I love technical wrestling. I love, the way I started was like, all you gotta do is take bumps, and then you learn one little thing at a time. I was trained really old school. But before you start, doing all this, it was a very crawl, walk, run way to learn the sport. And you get thrown in the ring and you wrestle. You don't hit the ropes. You grab holds, you maneuver out of holds, and you learn how to do it. And like it was easy for me. They just threw me into the deep end, but we put them in stuff, let them get out. And I came right out of like high school wrestling, so it was really easy for me. And I've always done a lot of like submission, grappling, and training like over the years, especially lately, and since at the time. So I love watching that.
Yeah.
Not everybody loves to see dudes on the mat because they don't understand what they're watching, but. A lot of times people be watching like MMA and they'll be like, "Oh, I hate it when they just like lay on the mat and hug." But I'm like, but if you know what we're watching, it's interesting. So I like watching that style. So I was pretty disappointed not to be there, but I thought it moved nicely along.
Was it great to see another side of Anthony Corelli, the man that most in this room know as Santino?
Dude, yeah, he's a bad motherfucker.
Yep.
I was actually in Toronto. I was going to be training up there at his gym, Bloodsport, or his gym, Battle Arts. But unfortunately, I got hurt, so I didn't get to. But
how are you reflecting on your personal growth? I think we've seen you interview. This point in your life is really a turning point, a bookmark for you. How are you personally reflecting on your personal growth as an artist, as a person?
Yeah, really. I really do feel like an entirely different person. Like not just in the ring, not just as a character, obviously, but. Really, like I just feel like a better person. I just feel like myself again. I just feel like I didn't like the person that I was becoming because there's a lot of just negativity around that whole situation. Like I didn't really realize how miserable I was for as long as I was until it was over. Because you're at the top. Because I'd always be like, I'd never want to be a complainer or not be like grateful. Because I'm like, well, I came into this with nothing. When I drove to Florida with nothing but like my beater car and like whatever cash I had in my pocket and like my wrestling bag. I literally had nothing when I moved down to Tampa. I drove from Philly to Tampa, and that was the gamble. I was like, all right, let's see if this WWE thing works out. A lot of people, funnily enough, didn't think I had even a shot at making it because they're like, well, if he can't bleed and swear and stab everybody, then he's never going to make it in WWE. Funnily enough, I became almost too child-friendly, so I succeeded too much. But, the WWE gamble, not that I had anything to gamble, but it worked out, I went down there with nothing and I left with literally everything. So I'd be like thinking to myself, like, I have the most beautiful wife in the world who I love. She's the greatest person in the world. I got a perfect house. I got my dogs. I got my truck. I'm like, I got everything I need, and I'm at the top of the end. I have these fans, and I'm like, and so I'd be like, I don't want to complain. So it's just I kind of ignored that anything was wrong.
Yeah.
And what was wrong was I hated my freaking job, but I didn't. I'd be like, oh well, at least I'm not working in like a factory somewhere, So I always try to like look at it. I don't think I realized how miserable I was because I kept trying to put a positive spin on it because I wanted to be like grateful to the universe, like, and you feel like a responsibility to like fans and stuff, and like Make-A-Wish programs and things like that, so you don't want to just bitch about like you're bad creative when there's people who have to work 12 hours in a factory and stuff like that. So, but now it's like I feel like I literally was asleep for like years,
this moment, like, it's something that we've all recognized, but it also inspired a great conversation. This situation happening in your life, and all, at the same time AEW bubbling. I think it inspired wrestling culture in general. Like wrestling, independent wrestling shows, like they talk a lot about it now. This AEW conversation. So how are you reflecting on that? On adding fuel to like an even bigger picture.
For me, my situation was just like right place, right time. Like when I was leaving WWE, I didn't even nothing. Everything, the AEW thing wasn't even a thing yet. You know, it just literally happened at the exact same time. It was like I didn't even find AEW. AEW found me. It was like our paths just converged at the exact same time. So that was really fortunate. But I think it's cool. It's coolest for the fans, and it's good for everybody right now. Just this is the most exciting time to be a wrestler, to be a wrestling fan. That since I've been in the business, this is the most exciting time for the wrestling business probably since I was 12, like 96, 97. So 98, you know. And back then, you know, ECW was filling up buildings, so was WCW, so was WWE. So. I think right now everybody's just. I think everybody's going to start doing better than they're doing right now. You know, and you know you're seeing wrestlers who are getting more money from WWE. You know, just because they're trying to lock everybody down, which is great. It should have been like that all along.
There's no incentive.
You know. You're seeing, you know, just I think they're going to start reducing their schedule too. It's good, you know, which is good because their schedule's stupid. Makes no sense. So I think you're going to see a better quality of life for guys, you know, in the competition, so to speak, just because of the existence of AEW. I mean, there's guys in Japan that are getting that I know that are getting raises that are under contract that aren't even coming, don't even want to come here, but just as like a sign of good faith. So there's literally the entire industry all over the world is like benefiting from the fact that now there's like a viable alternative. And once we like hit 10 o'clock and we got 2 hours in the can the other night and we were like, we did it, high five there, and now we got the ratings out. There is a viable alternative, you know what I mean? Like, this is real. This actually happened. Like, I'm sure there are a lot of people that are going to keep wanting to wake up from the nightmare. Like, this isn't really real. But, like, oh, this is happening. This is 100% real. And it's great for everybody. And it's great. Most, and I don't say this to try to, like, do some corporate speak like that passive-aggressive ass WWE statement the other day. But it is ultimately the fans benefit, you know? Because they get to see these guys who are, like, all across the board, who are more inspired, or who are from the indies, getting hyped up to like all across the board. Everybody's more passionate, and more excited, and like it's the other night I was watching Raw like with my wife the other night, and I was like, this is fun because we're like watching them react. Like, oh, now they brought Pyro back, and like. Now they brought in Hogan, and just watching them try to like make moves is like, it's fun, it's exciting. Like, the fan part of me is like, this is so much fun, you know?
Are you from Philadelphia originally?
No, I'm from Cincinnati.
Oh, okay, so it's in Philly. I just wondering. So when you walk down the street, people shout out Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, or Ray Donovan. I'm just curious what you get recognized.
Both. Yeah, it's still both. I mean, like I'll do like a signing later today at Comic-Con, and everybody's gonna be like bringing me like Shield merchandise and stuff. Some people like I'll like sign it Moxley, and they'll be like, and you see it on their face, they're like, because it was like a WWE thing. Or some people aren't even like quiet about it because they're just like collectors. They resell stuff, and they're like, can you put a DA on that? Okay, all right. No, I don't care. I'll do either. I don't care. I'm not like ashamed of. I had a great run. So, you know.
I was also going to make the joke about you look like Liev Schreiber of Ray Donovan fame, so I was curious if you get some.
Oh, I've heard him before.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It's not too bad. He's Wolverine.
Your time in Japan, like, how much did that reinvigorate you? You talking about, like, hating your job?
Oh, so much fun, you know. I didn't plan on doing the G1. That was never something that was on my radar until it got floated out to me. And I was like, G1. I was like, that's really tough, huh? And they're like the hardest thing. And I went, shit. Now I have to do it. Now I'm like, now I'll feel like a wuss if I don't. So I was like, all right, I guess we're doing that now. So I prepared and went out there and went, well, sink or swim, and just went for it and was like, we'll see what happens. And kind of it was like almost like the perfect vehicle for me to just like kind of work out the kinks, wash off all the WWE off me, and just get in there with these aggressive guys, because I'm an aggressive wrestler naturally, to like, and just let that side of me come back out and not have to be trying to like, because for so long I've been trying to like be the guy that like Vince saw me as, which is not really the way I normally wrestle. You know, like I just said in the last interview, I'll say it again, but first match I had outside of WWE was in Japan, and I couldn't picture it. I was like, I don't even remember how to wrestle anymore. Like I just couldn't picture it. So I just went, all right, fuck it. And I said, I'd take away all preconceived notions or any expectation. I'm just take everything out, just empty my brain, and just go out there and rely on instincts, because I've been doing this for a long time. I like to think I'm fairly good at it, so just see what happens. And then 2 minutes later, I'm beating the fuck out of Juice Robinson. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I used to do all the time. Because I'm just naturally a pretty hyper-aggressive wrestler. And that's what I plan on doing, bring to AEW. I plan on being the most physical. You know, when I say the word like, violence, I don't mean like I'm gonna bring in chairs and tables and barbed wire or whatever, unless it's a special occasion. But when I'm saying like the bell rings. If you sign a contract to get in the ring with me, I'm going to hurt you. I'm trying to fight you. Like I heard Chuck Liddell that quote one time. He was like, dude, as soon as he's like, I got no problem with the guy, but like as soon as that cage door closed, like I'm trying to kill you. I'm trying to take your head off. Like, and he's one of my favorite fighters. Well, so like I like that mentality. Like, yeah, I'm not here to like do a dance or throw stuff to the crowd or like do a little spinny. I'm not here to do like some gimmicky clap with me crap. I'm trying to hurt somebody. I'm trying to be. That's what I'm trying to do. Because that's the way I just like that. I like that wrestling. I think that's going to kind of be what kind of separate me a little bit from the pack here at AEW,
So would you say it's more fun being the antagonist or the protagonist?
I'm always an antagonist by nature. Yeah. Like I never went like. And like I'm not trying to wear a black hat or a white hat necessarily. I think there's a lot of shades of gray in AEW, and that isn't always a good thing, because sometimes the people need somebody to cheer for, and if it's too ambiguous, then it just doesn't really hit all the notes. But for like going into like full gear, Kenny Omega has a giant fan base. I have a giant fan base. There'll be some crossover, and some people will just be cheering us both. Some people might hate us both. I don't know. But let the chips fall where they may as far as like who the crowd's supporting, But
how do you want to be remembered?
I don't know. I've gotten that question before, and like, a lot of people are always talking about I want to be my legacy and this and that. When I kind of try not to think too much about it, because when I'm dead, the way people remember me, who gives a shit? I'm dead. If nobody remembers me at all, I don't. That's that could fit into like leaving WWE. Like, well, a lot of it is like. I thought about like what is like the perception going to be, because they're going to be like, oh, then it'll be like, oh, was he like a failure? It wasn't a failure at all. I had a great fucking run there, but it's like, all right, is the perception of me going to be that I'm major league and I'm miserable, and after I'm dead I'm remembered as a major leaguer, or I can go be happy and work in a VFW hall, and even if nobody even knows who I am, like the fame part of people recognizing me on the street and so forth is not important to me at all. I find it a burden if anything else. I'm cool just like, I don't need that part of it. So
going back to your time in Japan at the G1, how much badly do you want to get back in the ring with Yano and give a little bit of a violence to him?
I never want to get in the ring with him him again. That was that was the worst night of my life. I was embarrassed. It was like I woke up after a cheap date. Didn't know what happened. I felt taken advantage of. I'll never want to experience that horror again. HOO. Oh,
Yeah.
like horror movie. Yeah. That's gonna be the clip. I woke up after a cheap date. It's that horror again.
And that's all the time we have.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.